It's been a while since we've seen a GMT from Doxa, and I don't blame them, given their dive-focused history. However, with this Sub 250T GMT release, we're getting a collection that's looking to stay within their catalogue and fits right at home among the rest of their watches. The two I have here are the Shark Hunter with a black dial on the stainless steel beads of rice bracelet, and the White Pearl with, of course, a white dial on the white rubber strap. Now, your options aren't limited to these two, and Doxa has a generous offering of color choices to choose from, with a range of vibrant dials to more calm and neutral tones to suit a variety of tastes. Taking a look at the specs, these watches are coming in at 40mm in case diameter, 42.9mm lug to lug, and 18mm lug width. They have a thickness of 10.85mm with 250 meters of water resistance with a screw-down crown, and have 50 hours of power reserve from the Sellita SW330-2 movement. Many of the 250T GMT's design cues will be familiar to Doxa, adopting much of the same with small adjustments to its dimensions and architecture to accommodate for its added function, and honestly, I find it's a good thing. By taking a more conservative approach, Doxa has retained their iconic look, and it's this specific appearance that draws many to Doxa in the first place. The main components that separate this GMT line from their other timepieces are the exact things that give it its added functionality: a GMT hand and a bi-color chaptering with a 24-hour scale. When we look at the GMT hand, we can see it has a rather interesting construction, with a skeleton-like structure that has a very similar shape to the minute hand. It will be the largest hand on the dial here and is noticeable and easy to distinguish given its uniqueness to the other hands. But if you're worried about it being too overbearing, don't be. Its hollow nature kind of offsets its size by allowing it to blend in through taking on the color of the dial itself, and in a way, this also highlights its use as a secondary tracker for a second time zone, as I find it less prominent than the main handset themselves, despite its size. Its skeleton look and the fact that it's the largest hand also has another benefit when it comes to the hands overlapping. The GMT hand can still be seen, even when the other hands are on top, and it does so with a clean execution, like a border or frame that captures the beauty of the hands themselves and creates a more balanced look on the relatively small dial by sharing the same shape as the minute hand. This GMT hand can be individually moved by pulling out the crown to the first position and rotating it upwards to move the hand in a clockwise motion, and turning the crown downwards gives you access to the quick set date, so you don't have to rely on rotating the hands the whole way to change it, but it does mean the GMT hand only moves in one direction. As mentioned earlier, the 250T GMT has a chaptering that features a 24-hour scale. This essentially replaces the need for a 24-hour scale bezel, as you can track the hours on the dial. However, it is in a fixed position, so you won't be able to rotate it. The trade-off here is the watch retains its dive watch functionality, and more specifically, the iconic Doxa dual scale bezel that forms an important part of Doxa's DNA and history. So if you're a fan of GMTs or must have that GMT function but also love the Doxa look, you're not really missing out. The chaptering also takes on a bi-color approach to delineate from night and day, and I find it fits right in amongst the dual scale bezel, almost like a third ring that doesn't feel out of place at all. At the point where the two colors meet, lume dots replace the numerals 6 and 18, and it works, avoiding the awkward choice of splitting the number or having an uneven color split, keeping it symmetrical. The dimensions of the 250T GMT are sure to please a majority of wrists, being at a sweet spot size of 40mm, coupled with a compact lug-to-lug thanks to its unmistakable Doxa cushion case, making it wearable even on smaller wrists. My wrist size is 6.5 inches and I think it looks great, wearing much better than most 40mm watches I've tried over the years. The shorter lug-to-lug also means the bracelet and strap will start contouring earlier when worn, making them very comfortable, and while it is a small detail, it allows for more of that awesome beads of rice and color-matched strap to show, giving more of a complete look on the wrist. They're also slimmer than I expected at 10.85mm, giving them a surprisingly sleek feeling, and on the wrist it feels nicely balanced, making the watch extremely comfortable to wear, especially when combined with how well the bracelet and strap fit on the wrist. You do get a choice of steel or rubber here, and both are fantastic options. Doxa's Beads of Rice bracelet is built incredibly well with great articulation and a very smooth feeling throughout. There's no jamming of the links at all, and just handling the watch shows how silky the Beads of Rice feels and is sure to contour beautifully with the wrist. If you opt for the rubber strap, it will be color matched to your dial of choice, and just like the bracelet, it is well made with a build that contrasts the Beads of Rice in a good way, sturdy and robust instead of silky smooth. It feels solid and rugged, but is subtle enough to eliminate any sign of stiffness, and its curved shape naturally makes it follow the shape of your wrist too. Regardless of your choice of bracelet or strap, both will come with the same clasp, a milled Doxa signed fold over clasp with an on-the-fly extension that can be used without taking the watch off, as it has its own set of buttons. You could use this as a form of micro adjustment, however, it does expose the mechanism and create an uneven surface, so while it works great as a diver's extension, it wouldn't be the best for micro adjustments. Fear not though, Doxa includes half links for you to play with to get a perfect fit on the Beads of Rice, and the rubber strap can be cut to size. Now, while the lug width of the case is 18mm, the bracelet and strap do flare out to the edge of the lugs, so it doesn't feel narrow at all. This effectively widens the bracelet and strap to make them more proportionate and allows them to meet the lines of the case to create a flowing look. The rubber strap in particular accentuates this aspect with a stepped edge, and its fitted ends work well in conjunction to continue the case lines for a uniform appearance. Overall, I think it's a great release from Doxa, and I like that they're expanding and doubling down on their iconic look. It solidifies their design and DNA, and it's just a smart move in general. The 250T GMT has a lot in its package, offering a fusion between dive watch and GMT without compromising on Doxa's core composition, and is a capable performer in both diver and GMT categories. With more and more people traveling for recreation and work, and more brands leaning towards heritage influence in their timepieces, the 250T GMT feels appropriate, exuding Doxa's 1960s appeal with modern functionality. Sometimes you don't need to overdo things to have a great product, and in this case, it's definitely true. It keeps things nice and simple with simple changes to an already fan favorite formula in the Doxa Diver, and is something I appreciate. I'm a fan of this addition to Doxa's lineup of watches, and it's good to see a GMT offering from the brand after such a long time, adding another nice GMT option into the mix for us to choose from. Let me know your thoughts on the Doxa 250T GMT. Thank you for checking out the video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more watch content. I'll see you in the next one.